So it's like 5:30 in the morning, and I decided to get up and decided to make a YouTube video. It's how my life rolls. But hey, when you're awake, you're awake. And that's what you got to do. So anyway, we're going to talk about the two ships that are in the Blitz Pass, the Romulas and the Vasteras. And say they're pretty interesting little boats. I'll have to admit, the Tier 3 and the Tier 6 are pretty interesting. If you look at the Blitz Pass itself this month, you can tell that the first one and the free version is the Tier 3, and that's about a level 40. And the Tier 6 Vasteras is at level 30. So, not too bad. Are they the best ships? I don't know. But let's look at the comparison to the rest of the Blitz Pass. I mean, there's a bunch of stuff in there. We have all got it. We all have seen it. And a couple of things that interest me most is that you get a lot of silver in the first one, but we hardly ever see. So, like, if I would like to see at some point in time down the road with the Blitz Pass is if they gave, like, okay, so like here they gave out just a portrait. If they gave out the portraits for free, I can see why they want to give it out and have, you know, people pay for it in the Blitz Pass. That's fine. I can understand that. But I would like to see, say, like the captains themselves either be free in the free portion, or the portraits would be free and the captains would be in the part of the pay portion of it, or vice versa, or something like that. A trade-off every once in a while would be kind of cool. But it's wargaming. They're going to do what they're going to do, and I'm not mad either way. But I do want to see possibly maybe see this month it's up to 80 levels. It's been changing every month depending on how long the month is and everything like that. So I do like to see a little bit more consistent leveling all the way across. Maybe not just as high as 80 is a little bit kind of a stretch there, but probably like 60, 70 where they've been having it is pretty good. But I can see why they made it daily levels, because at the end of it, you're going to get 1,000 gold and not too bad amount in the free portion about this month. I think that's like, we'll say about 200, 250. I'm just kind of skimming through it real quick. I'm not really counting up too much. Yeah, 250 on the free side of it. That isn't too bad. I mean, it used to be a little bit more, but for free gold, it's free gold. You ain't got to have to pay for it. Why are you? You know, but other stuff in the game will probably come sometime later down the road when more stuff is coming out and everything like that. So I'm sure at some point in time they're probably going to be like, you know what, here's gold reward for completing this mission, gold reward for completing this mission, blah 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 blah. And of course the option to buy more gold will always be there, so that's always going to be contingent. So let's talk about the Romulus stats. It isn't all that super great. It's only got 8,066 health. Citadel protection at 5%, fire flooding resistance at 10%, damage reduction at 3%, torpedo damage reduction at 3%, max speed is 35.30 knots, pretty fast. Time to full speed could be a little bit quicker for such a small and light boat, but up to 11 seconds for takeoff. I don't know about that. Time to turn, though, is pretty quick at just under 3 seconds. Max diverse speed on the rudder is going to be at 10.82 degrees per second. Main guns are 100mm L/47 autos, model 1931s in a 3x1 facet with a 5-second reload time. Max range on the guns are at 6.90 kilometers. That's after I slapped everything on it and boosted it up. Main battery high explosive damage is 273 with a 2% chance of setting a fire, so she's definitely not an HE boat, but she'll pop a fire every once in a while if you got a decent rate of fire. For the 5 seconds, I don't know, I'm kind of a little confused on it. Torpedoes, however, are interesting. The torpedoes are 450mm torpedoes. You have one in a 1x2 facet and the other one in a 1x4 facet. So 6 torpedoes on a drop, but they drop differently. Reload time is just under 30 seconds. Pretty fast, right? But each torpedo only does 1,308 damage, and the range is 6 kilometers, but they do a ridiculous amount of speed, almost 67 knots. But you have a chance of setting a flood at 24%. Interesting. So you got to get pretty close in order to use these torpedoes, but you got a 24% chance of setting a flood. 1 in 4 out of the 6 that you send out there is probably going to set at least 1 to 2 floods probabilities in there. But there's still a likelihood if it's not happening. Torpedo tube traverse speed is at 27.50 degrees, and your surface detection is at 5.28 after I put everything on there. And I think I can probably get it a little deeper if I had more options. But it's tier 3. But 5 and some change on the surface detection isn't that bad. You know, just under 5.5 and you're doing all right. But you got a 6 kilometer range, torpedo range. So that's, then again, it's tier 3 small maps, and you're going to get detected pretty quickly anyway. So that's kind of pretty much where that boat's at. But let's get into the tier 6 one. It offers a little bit more. Let me just also go into the details of the Romulus first real quick. I do apologize. You're only going to get 2 engine accelerator 1s on that. In the Vasteras, excuse me, I do apologize. I've already upgraded it to the best I can, and because I'm missing a blueprint and I just too lazy to do it. All right, you are going to get 1 radar 1 on this boat, which is kind of cool. I wish it was 2, but I'm kind of greedy that way, so sorry. I always want just a little bit more in everything. But then again, I can understand why it's only 1 charge. You have 3 engine accelerator 1s on that one. Plus, you're going to also get an additional repair kit as well. So that's kind of cool. I like that. Same thing with the other one, the Romulus. So, with that being said, you're going to come in with 4 health packs. You know, you'll be all right. It's probably why they're offering the commanders on there. But these are both non-premium boats. These are just regular tier 3 boats. That makes me kind of hint that there might be a whole tech tree coming out for these boats later on, or for the destroyers for this line anyway. So we got probably a good indication there that this whole tech tree is coming out. So we're going to be seeing another line of destroyers coming out, of course, and naturally it's in the PC version as well, so we already have kind of an idea what the line could be. So they may make a change on it here and there. This again is the mobile version. It is a different game than what it is to World of Warships PC. This is mobile. They got theirs. Every game's going to have their little tweak and everything like that, just like the console version as well. So, that being said, let's dive into the stats of it a little bit. Let's just skip over the main length of it. It's 199 meters long, 9 meters wide, 1,189 tons of displacement, 11,984 hit points, 5% chance of citadel protection, fire and flood resistance at 10%, damage reduction at 3%, torpedo damage reduction at 3%, max speed 37.23 knots, time to full speed just under 11 seconds. I'd figured that would just be a little bit faster, but then again, I can understand. Time to turn is just 3 seconds to make that turn. The degrees on the rudder is 9.46, 9.5 degrees or so. Main guns are 120 millimeter L/45 Bofors M1924s and a 3x2 facet, meaning 6 guns in total. Reload time is 6 seconds, but the range is 7.74 kilometers. That's after I slapped everything on there. Main battery high explosive damage is 334 with a chance of setting fire at 3%. Main battery armor piercing damage is 391. Citadel damage rate of 150%. Turret traverse speed is 16.5 degrees, and you got the torpedoes. Are they going to be 533 millimeter and a 2x3 facet? That's just all it says is 533 millimeter torpedoes and 2x3 facets. Straightforward and simple. Reload time is just 37.5 seconds, but again, the torpedo damage is 1,696 in comparative to everything else. Here's where it gets really awesome. The torpedo range is at 8.11 kilometers. This is where I like it. Nice distance on the torpedoes, and they're going to go really stupid fast at 79.47 knots with a 33% chance of flooding on it. Now, this boat becomes viable because at 33%, that's literally a lot. So, that meaning your torpedo tube traverse speed is going to be at 27.5 degrees per second, which means they're going to get over there pretty quickly as well. Anti-aircraft armament, oh my god, I'm going to go ahead and just jump off the boat at this point. You got just a small caliber AA damage of 60 and a range of 1.5 kilometers. Now, I didn't work on the surface detection of this one, okay? But it's just under 6 kilometers. But you got that 2 kilometer buffer between 6 and 8 kilometers to drop your torpedoes. Remember, your max range is 8.11 kilometers, and your surface detection is at 5.70 kilometers. So you got that 2 kilometer buffer to stealth torp, which is not bad. Remember, you also got a 33% chance of setting a flood on this boat. So if you're looking for flood missions, this is probably going to be your go-to boat for it. So other than that, that's probably why I would get the Blitz Pass, is to get this boat, just because it has the fact that it has a lot of a chance to set a flood. I played this boat a few times, and I'm not going to lie, it's an interest. So you got that 2 kilometer buffer. You definitely want to make sure you're within that range for stealth torping. I'm sure if you change the modification up a little bit, you could probably get that surface detection down even lower and get a larger range, to probably down to maybe 5.43 if you know what you're doing. By putting a different mod on there, you may be able to get it down that far. But again, increasing that little gap is going to be an alright thing. Remember, there are boats out there with sonar and radar and stuff like that. For as far as your armory is concerned, you ain't got no smoke, but you got a radar, and you know that's pretty freaking awesome. Having radar is just freaking awesome. I don't care what anybody says. So if you like this video and this one as well, man, check out our live streams as well. Make sure you subscribe to this, because I'm going to be producing a lot more videos. I've worked on my computer finally and changed out a whole bunch of stuff, and I have a fuzzy cat who is fuzzy. I know, yes. She's a good cat. But until the next video, don't do anything I wouldn't do twice.